Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome to my little corner of the writer universe. Today I'm going to talk about how to love your writing. How many times have you turned around to someone you know and gone, my writing sucks? More times than you can count? I know the feeling. But there's a difference between over-exaggerating and saying your writing is bad to laugh it off and actually believing that your writing is bad. So let's talk about how to love all of the words that you write despite how good they may or may not be. The first thing we need to remember is that writing is a process. It's not just writing one draft or something and then you're done and that finished product is the end and you can't change it. No. When you write, you think of your ideas, you potentially do an outline, you write your first draft and then you take a break and then you reread it and then you rewrite it into draft 2 and draft 3, draft 4 and beyond. When you first start, yes, it's not going to sound as good, but that's the point. Writing is also about learning. You are not going to know it all the second you start. It doesn't take weeks, months to learn how to write. It takes years. Published authors are still learning to this day. In writing, you need to remember that practice doesn't make perfect. It makes slightly better writing than before. How do you learn to love your writing? The first thing you need to do is separate yourself from it. You are not the stories that you create. This is especially important if you have outside people reading your work. If they say your writing is bad or if you think your writing is bad, remember that they are not saying that you as a person are bad. Having an objective view about your writing is going to make it easier for you to accept critique and make the changes. Bye-bye perfectionism. Look, I know it's sort of difficult to abandon the perfectionism. I know it's difficult to sit down and purposely write something that does not sound good. It is something that takes years to overcome, to be able to sit down and just write without worrying about the quality of your work. But it's a very important step to take. Letting go of perfectionism is needed if you want to truly love the words that you write, no matter how they sound. If you are so caught up in your words being perfect, you're never going to fully love the words that you're writing. Honestly, you need to lower your standards and you need to lower your expectations, especially if you're writing a first draft. That sounds mean, but you're not going to write the perfect book in your head the first time you try to write it. The sooner you accept that, the easier loving your writing is going to be. Remember that mistakes are not the be-all, end-all. They are not a bad thing. Mistakes help you grow. Mistakes help you learn. Is it a really crappy feeling when you realise that the ending to your novel just does not work, so you need to cut 100 pages and rewrite it completely in order for the story to make sense? Yeah, it sucks. Like, no, seriously. I've done it before. It completely sucks. That does not mean that what I wrote was bad. That does not mean that the idea I had was bad. It was a mistake. It's just a thing that happened. So I change it, I correct the mistake, and I move on, having learned a little bit more about my story, about myself, and about the process that I take in order to outline the story in the first place. No one is going to say that you can't be a writer if there are mistakes in your novel. No one is going to stop you from being a writer if you don't include dialogue tags or action tags, or if you don't properly use inner voice or describe a scene or a setting. These are things you can change. These are things you can add. These are things that you can learn from when you go on to move on to different projects. Learn to smile. This one's a bit weird, but it's something that I've had immense fun doing while I've been drafting, and that is to laugh at the mistakes that you are making. Share them, celebrate them. Guaranteed 90% of the other writers out there are going through the exact same thing. Talking about the issues that you are having, talking about the mistakes you made are not only going to make you feel better about them, but they are also going to make other writers feel better about making those same mistakes. Appreciate your progress. Writers are very big dreamers. I feel that we have a massive issue with looking forward to what we need to do and to what we want to do, instead of taking time to look back and see how far we have already come. In the moment, it might not feel like you're progressing. It might not feel like your writing style has changed or that you've improved the way that you work. But if you take a moment to look back at your old writing, guaranteed you will see an immediate improvement between what you used to write and what you are currently writing now. We're learning all the time, even if we don't think we are. The more we write, the more we get to know what we as writers can and cannot do, the more we get to know what we like and what we do not like, the more we get to know the best ways for us and our brains to work in a way that makes us happy. It is absolutely 100% okay to not enjoy the words that you are writing. It is absolutely 100% okay to not enjoy the words that you have just written. It's natural, especially if you have such a formed idea in your head of what your work needs to be and it doesn't come out like that. But that does not mean that you are bad. It does not mean that your writing is bad. Those words that you've written are going to be worked on, they are going to be changed, they are going to be improved. You don't hate on the cake batter before it's cooked, right? Because you know it's going to turn into something better. It's exactly the same for your writing. Love your writing. It's your little baby. You created it. Love what you write and love what you know you're going to turn it into. All writers are trash pandas, and our writing is our trash. That's it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below, have you ever struggled with perfectionism in your work? What's the funniest mistake you've ever made while writing? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.